Grun's room, let's collide. Streaming hot takes, combat in overdrive. Chairs flying, bodies on the ground. Review last night's show, no holds unbound. Smell the sweat, hear the roar, feel the pain. Tagging folks in, dialogue insane. Matt's on the mat, Vince's vendetta. Analyze the best moves, no meta. Friday night fights, Grun's room delight. Hit the play button, commentary tight. Top rope leap, slams in sight. Podcast reverberates, break into night. Heel turns crazy, face gets momentum. Captured every moment, endless venom. New champs, shock the crowd. Replay, breakdown, critics stand proud. Raw emotions, no disqualifications. Table smashes, fierce altercations. Belt changes hands, crowd erupts. We dissect each drop kick, no one interrupts. Friday night fights, Grun's room delight. Hit the play button, commentary tight. Top rope leap, slams in sight. Podcast reverberates, break into night. Raw emotions, no disqualifications. Table smashes, fierce altercations. Belt changes hands, crowd erupts. We dissect each drop kick, no one interrupts. Friday night fights, Grun's room delight. Hit the play button, commentary tight. Top rope leap, slams in sight. Podcast reverberates, break into night. No, bang. Microphone blazing, Grun's room, let's collide. Streaming hot takes, combat in overdrive. Yeah, chairs flying, bodies on the ground. Review last night's show, no holds unbound. No holds unbound. Smell the sweat, hear the roar, feel the pain. Taking folks in, dialogue insane. Matt's on the mat, Vince's vendetta. Analyze the best moves, no meta. Friday night fights, Grun's room delight. Hit the play button, commentary tight. Top rope leap, slams in sight. Podcast reverberates, break into night. Heel turns crazy, face gains momentum. Catching every moment, endless venom. New champs, shock the crowd. Replay, breakdown, critics stand proud. Raw emotions, no disqualifications. Table smashes, fierce altercation. Belt changes hands, crowd erupts. We dissect each drop kick, no one interrupts. Microphone blazing, Grun's room, let's collide. Streaming hot takes, combat in overdrive. Yeah, chairs flying, bodies on the ground. Review last night's show, no holds unbound. No holds unbound. Got it.
Thinking over once. You can't rule, you know. You know, I'm with the right.
Microphone blazing, Grun's room, let's collide. Streaming hot takes, combat in overdrive. Chairs flying, bodies on the ground. Review last night's show, no holds unbound. Smell the sweat, hear the roar, feel the pain. Tagging folks in, dialogue insane. Matt's on the mat, Vince's vendetta. Analyze the best moves, no meta. Friday night fights, Grun's room delight. Hit the play button, commentary tight. Top rope leap, slams in sight. Podcast reverberates, break into night. Heel turns crazy, face gets momentum. Captured every moment, endless venom. New champs, shock the crowd. Replay, breakdown, critics stand proud. Raw emotions, no disqualifications. Table smashes, fierce altercations. Belt changes hands, crowd erupts. We dissect each drop kick, no one interrupts. Friday night fights, Grun's room delight. Hit the play tight. Top rope leap, slams in sight. Podcast reverberates, breaking tonight.
What is going on? It is the Grunmeister here. It is a Friday night. No special guest. All you got is me, my crazy theories, and talking about WWE, Smackdown, and anything else we can think about to talk about. Um, be sure to tune in to all the IYH content. Monday Night Raw review. Check out the Hot Tag on Tuesdays. Check out the Bouquet of Legacy on Wednesdays. Check out the ECW Watch Along on Thursdays, and then you gotta check out the Grun's Room on Fridays. We got the boss house in the house. What is up? Thank you for popping in, boss. Alicon, the concept house. Joshua, the voice, Joshua Joseph. If Chaos Goblin, Kevin Calloway, Divinely Designed, Annie O'Neill. And sometimes we get old Hypocrisy Jones jumping in, joining us, talking some wrestling. Be sure to also help us get to the Wrestling Squared Circle Wrestling Expo. Well, that's going to be in March. Cannot wait for that. Really hope I am able to get out to Indiana that weekend and finally meet the rest of the household in person. It's going to be truly awesome. But now let's get into what has happened in the last week on Friday Night SmackDown and the WWE. First off, Seth Rollins has now lost his buddies, his muscle, and Paul Heyman, his Oracle. And I really love how Becky Lynch responded to Paul Heyman, telling him that Seth cannot wait to come back and ruin everything that Paul Heyman is trying to accomplish. Seth Rollins always knew Paul Heyman was going to turn on him. Seth Rollins always knew it. He just didn't think it was going to be this long. And I cannot wait for that. I cannot wait for that Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins match. That will be truly fantastic. Cannot wait. Cannot wait for Zoe Stark to come back. Nothing really new coming up with her, but I really hope that she comes back sooner than later. If we're lucky, maybe she's back by Rumble. Hopefully, I think if she's back by Rumble, she'll get a big pop. I think fans, damn, Rumble's in Saudi Arabia. Yeah, no, you know what? If I'm Zoe, I'd say nah. I'll wait till after Mania. No, because damn, yeah, Rumble's in Saudi Arabia this year, or this coming Rumble. That is not gonna be fun. I haven't been watching the WWE PLEs because, like a lot of you, I can't afford it. I can't afford it anymore. And unfortunately, that is life. But maybe TKO will make changes. I mean, Activision is panicking because their numbers are dropping. It doesn't look like Black Ops 7 is going to do very well. No one's expecting it to do well, except the people that are completely brainwashed by Activision. Battlefield is pretty good. Battlefield 6, that is, pretty good. Not a huge Battlefield player myself, but if you're looking for a first-person shooter, if you're looking for a new game, a different game to play to tell COD that you're not interested, Battlefield 6. Unfortunately, you have to buy it. You have to at least buy it, unfortunately, to get the message across to Activision to be better. Okay? And make better games. TKO can maybe take this concept and apply it to their business practices. Hopefully soon, but it is not likely. Cannot, but it should be. Things seem to be becoming more interesting in WWE right now, especially with the results of SmackDown last week, which started off with Nick Aldis confirming the original announcement that Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre was going to be for the number one contendership of Cody Rhodes' undisputed WWE Championship. I cannot. That was a match we were all looking forward to. We could not wait, especially since Jacob Fatu essentially was in his hometown. Cody Rhodes and and the winner would get the match at Saturday night's main event 2 weeks from this Saturday, I believe. Or is it? No, it actually I think that's a week from this Saturday. Huh. Okay. And Survivor Series right around the corner. There are rumors that it's going to be Wyatt Six versus MFTs. If it is, I don't see how WWE recovers from that. Nobody cares about either group. One thing I did hear is that supposedly CM Punk and Roman Reigns are going to it's November 1st. Thank you, House. So yeah, it would be next Saturday is when the next Saturday night's main event is. We're gonna have CM Punk versus Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship, which apparently nobody is looking forward to, or at least most people aren't. I'm not. I thought CM Punk was an uninspired choice, and I thought Jey Uso once again uninspired. Um, they're At this point they're just trying to put butts in seats because people will pay to see Jey Uso and people will pay to see CM Punk, unfortunately. But it's not interesting, unfortunately. That isn't. What is interesting is something's going on with Cody Rhodes. Because we'll save that for later. Keep you guys tuned in, please. Uh, Here's something that we can keep you tuned in. That is going to keep you tuned in right here, right now, and that is the opening match of SmackDown was for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. They definitely, House is saying, they definitely didn't try to do anything different with those world title matches. Nope. Rinse and repeat. That is what they are doing with the world title matches. It is unfortunate, but should be pretty good matches. It's a weird time. WWE potentially are enforcing a clause that is not that 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 is not that would not hold up in court. Which is like really makes me like. Some people are saying WWE are doing this to try and keep um Andrade out of AEW. Some people are saying they're doing it to piss off Andrade, to piss off AEW. Some people are saying that it's all a ploy to get Andrade back in WWE. I think there were issues backstage. Triple H did everything in his power to keep those issues under wraps so that nobody would hear about them. That way, so not only would WWE not get any flack, but Andrade wouldn't. Because even if you want to give flack to WWE for enforcing, or at least at this point attempting to enforce a year-long non-compete clause, I it if Andrade's fighting it, he's fighting it quietly, which would be the smart thing to do. Now, because some things I've heard, and I think even David Otunga commented that WWE wouldn't if this goes to court, WWE wouldn't win. WWE would lose. There's no way that a judge would uphold this clause where Andrade can't compete for another wrestling company for an entire year. probably at best WWE would be forced to enforce the regular 90-day non-compete clause, or the judge could just say WWE, where because you're trying to enforce this, I'm saying that the non-compete clause is over. Andrade can wrestle wherever he wants. And that honestly would be the best solution. That would be the best outcome for Andrade, and it would make WWE look like fools. So if all Andrade has to do is file the paperwork for the suit, WWE will probably then, their lawyers will probably then contact Andrade's lawyer, say, look, we'll drop it, we'll let it go, and Andrade can go to AEW, whatever. I I don't see why anyone would want to push that. You're getting exactly what you wanted. You can do exactly what you were planning on doing, but oh well. Like I said, the WWE tag team titles, women's tag team titles, were on the line. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair teamed up to take on Sol Ruka and Zarya. Yeah, in what was overall a pretty good match. Yeah, Zarya, there were some mistakes made, a few mistakes. Like some moves didn't look as crisp or clean as they should have. But it's just a reminder that Zarya is still pretty new to pro wrestling. See, I think she's been wrestling 5, 6, 7 years at this point, which I mean, like WWE have kept her and they put her on Smackdown, so clearly they believe that she can improve and become better. So I'm not mad about that. Um, it was ultimately, we did get to see the Soul Snatcher. Alexa Bliss broke up the pin though. Oh, Sol Ruka and Zarya almost won, but with Alexa Bliss breaking up the pin, then taking Zarya out of the picture, Charlotte was able to lock Sol Ruka into the figure 8, forcing Sol Ruka to tap out. Overall, like solid women's match, solid tag team match, solid title match. Not really any complaints there. Sami Zayn was then backstage with Adam Pearce, or no, I'm sorry, Nick Aldis, the one that sucks, the one that is playing games with us, the one that is trying to make sure that Sami Zayn gets to keep the U.S. title because he wants a Canadian. He wants a Canadian to hold the U.S. title. That is insulting. Okay? Canada is known for having wrestlers that disrespect the United States. Do we have to talk about Team Canada? Do we have to talk about how Bret Hart insulted the United States in the 90s? Okay? All right, I'm tired of these Canadians holding our titles. I'm tired of it. Except Ethan Page, though. Okay, Ethan Page is cool. Okay, because Ethan Page is Ethan Page. Okay, I can admire greatness. Okay, Ethan Page is greater than Bret Hart. He's greater than any other Canadian to ever live. Okay, that is without a shadow of a doubt. Now I know I just insulted an entire nation. Well, you know what? Sami Zayn had to deal with the fact that Miz gets blindsided by Carmelo Hayes, as Miz was going to be, he was the selected opponent, not the open challenge blind opponent. No, Miz was hand selected by Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis was pleading with Sami Zayn to stop the open challenge. No. That was a scam. That was to con us. And you know what? Sami Zayn, he decided, well, I can't make this up. I can't walk away now. I have to sit here and wait for a new opponent. And whose music hits? The returning Mad Dragon himself, Ilya Dragunov. He is back. He looks as badass as ever. He is perfectly, well, you're never perfectly healthy after an injury, but he is healthy enough to compete at the level that we have expected him. And see, House is even agreeing with me. Ethan Page is the greatest Canadian pro wrestler that ever lived. That is not a fact, or that is not an opinion. That is a fact. Okay, so we will not deal with any Ethan Page slander in this world, in this house. No, we will not deal with that slander there because he kills him with a smile. Ha ha ha. But in this match, Ilya Dragunov just did the killing. Ilya Dragunov, like, okay, yeah, Sami Zayn got in some offense, I guess you could say, and I guess you could say Ilya, you had to work for his win, but come on, Ilya hit the Moscow missile and then hit the H bomb for the win. Now, Solo Sikoa did show up on the ramp, or at the top of the ramp, to slightly distract Sami Zayn, but it was all Ilya who won. And then the MFTs decided, oh, we want the US title back. Yeah, we want the tag team titles back. Yeah, we want gold again. Mwah. Like, I'm sorry, MFTs. When was I supposed to care about you guys? Oh yeah. You see, House knows. Ilya is so much more interesting to talk about because Ilya's offense is insane. It is impactful. It is absolutely fantastic. It is great. Love it. MFTs are absolutely boring. Okay, and here's the thing. They weren't this boring. They were better when Solo Sikoa was champion, and the feud was supposed to be Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu for the US title. But they wanted to move Jacob Fatu off to the world title, it seems, or the undisputed WWE Championship. So they said, Sami Zayn. It's like, great. So you're going to try and convince us that Sami Zayn is in a feud with Solo Sikoa, and it's not that interesting because their Solo and Jacob's match at SummerSlam was underwhelming. It didn't hit on a level that people expected it to hit on, and now you gave the title to Sami Zayn. But at least you've given it to Ilya Dragunov. But now, unfortunately, we have now we're gonna have a tag team match with 4 random people teaming up to take on the MFTs. And look, individually, these are great wrestlers, except for Sammy. Sammy's not that great. Ray Phoenix, fantastic, love him. Cannot wait for them to team him up with his brother Penta. Ilya Dragunov, fantastic wrestler. Same thing, meh. But why? Why? Like, this is only to, like, we know why you're doing it, but not even the Wyatt Six look good. I believe that the Wyatt Six has potential. I think a lot of people believe it has potential, but they haven't fully brought them back to the level that they need to be at. Literally, remove the MFTs, remove the Wyatt Six from the tag division, put the titles back on DIY. Okay? Because, like, look, Street Profits are a great choice, not the best choice. Okay? Motor City Machine Guns, good choice, not the best choice. Los Garza, good choice, not the best choice. You need the tag team titles on DIY again. Because I'm sorry if you guys have not been paying attention the last year and a half, but Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa as a unit are the best thing on TV. Candice LeRae being the perfect wife on TV is fantastic. So I'm like why are these three restricted to backstage segments? No. Johnny, Tommaso, and Candice need to be in that ring. Okay, WWE, you put them there. Okay. So here is what's going on. So Jacob is getting those veneers. When WWE fixed a Samoan's teeth, that means they're about to push him. Ask Roman and Jay. Oh my God. I don't look. I don't judge people who get veneers, who get work done to fix their teeth, and make them. And okay, maybe it's replacing all the teeth. Maybe I don't fully understand the plastic surgery around dental work, but that is one of the few plastic surgery things I don't really judge people for because I get it. Not everyone has perfect. I definitely don't have perfect teeth. And sometimes that bothers me, and I do what I can. I do my best to make them look presentable. So like, but I'm like, really? Like, just because of that? Like, look, it when Shiloh Hill just won an NXT contract. I never want to hear them say, "Hey, Shiloh, you know that gap where your tooth went missing? Yeah, we need you to fill that." I'm like, no, no, I want Shiloh to keep that gap because there is how many wrestlers that make it to mainstream, that make it to WWE or AEW, are visibly missing teeth that the fans love. I think the fans are going to love Shiloh Hill. I really do. Yeah, it's definitely a trend. And again, like if I had the money, if I could afford, if I was making the kind of money they were, I would probably definitely get veneers. I probably definitely would. Okay, it's like from I like because there's some people that, like there's some part of their bot there are people that like there's some part of them they don't really like or that they know like oh I need a lot of work here or wherever and it's like I don't it's like okay I don't okay it is what it is that's just your thing just don't do anything crazy veneers not crazy not I don't think that's crazy at all but uh, but I kind of hate the idea that because like I don't no you're not saying that he needed to get veneers I think he's just choosing to get veneers which again don't blame him for but ugh, eh I it is what it is that's but I I kind of would hope that he picked a different time to get it because like I feel like there was time for him to do this work um without interrupting the storyline. Uh, actually, no, I'm sorry. There were also reports that Jacob Fatu was dealing with some sort of illness or injury, and he wasn't going to be able to have the match. There was a development on that story later in the evening. Motor City Machine Guns had a segment with Los Garza earlier in the day, led to a tag team match where the Motor City Machine Guns on their 1 year anniversary in WWE beat Los Garza for the second time on their year anniversary. And that is including their debut match. Their debut match was against Los Garza. Motor City Machine Guns won that match, and now they've won here. It is unfortunate because Los Garza we're on a trend. We're on an upward trend, and now they've lost all gas, and like that is depressing to see. That is depressing to say. That is it just the whole thing is depressing. Now let's get to the main event, and because I've been trying to avoid saying it, but but Jacob Fatu was attacked backstage. No one knows who. No one knows how. Really knows how Jacob Fatu was attacked, but he was attacked and he was cleared, deemed ineligible to compete in the match. So Drew McIntyre demanded the referee raise his hand as the victor. Nick Aldis comes out, says, "I know you did it, Drew. I know you did it, Drew." Drew says, "Nick Aldis, you've known me for 20 plus years. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't do it." I believe Drew that he didn't do it because I think he would have said something maybe a little bit more smartass if he did do it. Like Cody Rhodes comes out screaming, yelling, "Enough! Enough! Enough! We know you did it! We know you did it!" that was the first time, like, Cody, why are you so adamant that Drew did it? Why? Because here's the thing, Drew may be an a-hole, but he loves a good fight. He loves a good fight. So I don't know where you're coming from, Cody. But Cody decided to give him a title match. So our main event match turned into Drew McIntyre versus Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Championship. However, the match would end with Drew McIntyre picking up the win via disqualification because Cody, they were fighting outside the ring in the ringside area, and Cody took the WWE Championship and hit Drew with it. So these two are not done, and I do believe it has been confirmed that these two will compete at Saturday night's main event for the undisputed WWE Championship. But now the question is Cody, are we finally getting that heel turn from Cody? And my answer right now is no. And the reason why it was a good point that was laid out. I can't remember. It may have been Kevin Calloway. I don't remember who, but it makes sense why it's not happening. It may have also been anybody. I listen to wrestling podcasts. I listen to wrestling clips. But no, I think, you know what? I think it was Jelly Roll. Yeah, I think it was Jelly Roll on Insight with Chris Van Vliet. It was that there is no babyface to fill Cody's spot, and no, there really isn't. Like fans like Braun Breaker, but it's gonna take time to make him that babyface. Like that you need to fill Cody's spot, but I don't think that's right now. Seth Rollins, like, well, while I know a lot of people, I agree with a lot of what a lot of people say, and that Seth Rollins works better as a heel. He is fantastic as a heel. He is fantastic just being Seth freaking Rollins. He is fantastic at everything he does. But Seth Rollins can be that dastardly babyface that you love and still kind of be heelish. Like Seth Rollins, I think is a good pick. They like I would say Dirty Dom, but it's like it feels like you'd be doing him and Judgment Day a disservice if you just say, "Hey, Judgment Day, we're forgetting all about you guys, and Dom, you're gonna be champion. Okay, good looking." No, okay, that would be because Finn, JD, Raquel, Roxanne, they're going to be hurt so bad. And more than anything else, I think it would be an insult to Finn because who's been busting his ass to make to make this story with Judgment Day stay alive long enough to get Dom to where we are at today. Where any moment now, Judgment Day is going to turn on Dom or Dom's going to walk away from Judgment Day. We are at that point. Dirty Dom is going to be the biggest star in WWE one day. That is irrefutable. Like you can make an argument he's the biggest star right now. I don't know that he is, but there is no doubt in my mind Dirty Dom is going to be the biggest star and maybe even the biggest babyface in WWE, maybe that WWE's ever seen. But Cody right now cannot be heel. He cannot. It's not going to happen. It would make more sense. It would make more sense if it was Randy Orton. Randy Orton says, "Cody, I was doing you a favor. I was doing you a favor. I was making sure that it was Drew because I know you can beat Drew. What, you think I don't? I can't beat Jacob? No one can beat Jacob Fatu. Nobody can. You were going to lose the title. And then we finally get that feud. Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes. Oh, yeah, that would be fantastic. That would be amazing. Uh but I am not a fortune teller. I do not know what direction they are going in, and we will find out soon enough. So now for tonight's SmackDown, Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre are going to be in the house following their chaotic brawl from last week. Fantastic. Ilya Dragunov to issue a United States Championship Open Challenge. I am very happy to see this, that open challenges are back for the United States Championship. And it's not just going to be a one champion thing. So I am very happy to see this. Ilya, I cannot wait to see who his opponent is going to be. Tiffany Stratton will take on Kiana James, likely with Julia interfering. I mean, they they gotta be working towards Tiffany losing that title, right? Kiana James isn't the right person to win it. Like you could in theory make it Julia and make her a double champ. You could in theory do that. I I think that would work. I think Julia being the one to dethrone Tiffany Stratton, I think that would work. I think I think like it's I don't hate the idea. It is a way to solve their problem while building their problem being that Tiffany Stratton's title reign has become stale, and Tiffany has shown that she still needs some work. But when she was white hot, she knew exactly what to do, and she knew exactly what her role was. She knew how to play it, and she everything she did was fantastic. She was fantastic what she did. Unfortunately, now it is at the point where she needs to level up, but she can't do it with the title. So she must lose the title in order to level up. Happens to a lot of wrestlers. They can't sometimes having that title doesn't actually help you level up. But there's no doubt in my mind Tiffany's going to level up, and we're going to see her with that title again. I don't know when, but I doubt this is her only title reign. And then we are also going to have a tag team match. Shinsuke Nakamura will team up with Rey Fenix to take on two people from the MFTs. My hope is that it's Tamatanga and Tangaloa. Well, and we'll see. We'll like you heard House. He's not interested in the MFTs. Nobody's interested. Who here actually wants to see the MFTs? Not a freaking soul. Nobody wants to. Okay? They are boring. They were interesting it was interesting when they first brought them when they were first making the MFTs. It was interesting when they had Solo Sikoa in his pure heelish form, super heel form with the US title. And they kept dropping the ball. They kept on making us uninterested. They kept on telling us don't invest time into them. It's same thing with like I was invested in Karrion Kross and Scarlett Bordeaux. A lot of people were. I'm invested in them doing great in on the indies. I am not invested in them coming back to WWE because I don't see how it doesn't end the exact same way, which is unfortunate, which is sad, which sucks. Um but that is it. Actually, you know what? We'll cover one more thing because I did forget that Halloween Havoc is tomorrow night. I do believe that it is tomorrow night. night? Yes. Halloween Havoc is tomorrow night, October 25th, Saturday. The Ricky Saints will defend his NXT championship against Trick Williams after Trick Williams was savagely slaughtered by Ricky Saints in a promo segment for the contract signing. Ricky Saints retains. That is not up for discussion. This one might be, because this is an interest, because I don't know where they're going with this. JC Jane defends the NXT Women's Championship against Tatum Paxley. I don't know about everyone else. While I admittedly am not a an avid, consistent NXT watcher. I still would not have picked Tatum Paxley to be the winner of that battle royal to determine the number one contender. So with Tatum Paxley and it seeming like I don't know, they might. JC, I don't know. I'm gonna go JC Jane retains. I don't think Tatum wins here. I think there's a story for her to tell with Izzy Dane, but I would not be surprised if Tatum Paxley does become NXT Women's Champion at some point. I'm not too certain, but we'll see. The NXT Tag Team titles are on the line in a Broken Rules match. That is the Broken Hotties, yes, will arrive in NXT to delete Dark State. I guess this just means no rules, no DQ. You go crazy. See, now Dark State, they gotta watch out, because if Matt Hardy is broken, and if he's bringing Brother Nero with him, then you need to watch out very carefully for Senor Benjamin. You gotta watch out for the mower of lawns, the chair of wheels. You gotta watch out for the ladder of steps. You gotta watch out for the chair of steel. You gotta watch out. You gotta watch out. And don't be surprised if the I don't know what I don't think she has a nickname. Rebby Hardy shows up, so to protect her husband and her brother, or his brother. Sorry. I again, while I'm not an avid NXT watcher, I think NXT's fantastic. I think overall, I from what I have seen, like Dark State have not really won me over, but oh no, maybe I watch it more consistently, maybe I'd think differently. But I'm going Hardy's retain. I wouldn't be too surprised if Dark State wins, because there are 4 of them, and like the Hardys, they would need allies from TNA. Zarya will be defending the Women's North American Championship on behalf of Sol Ruka against Blake Monroe, because Sol Ruka injured her leg during the women's tag team title match they had last Friday. Ava originally was going to strip Sol Ruka of the title. Zarya stepped in and said, "What if I defend the title for her on her behalf?" And Ava agreed to this. Blake Monroe apparently agreed to this. But there was something a bit weird. Zarya ripped the title from Sol Ruka's hand after Zarya laid out Blake Monroe, which definitely is going to make things interesting for Zarya and Sol Ruka later on. We predicted this recently, that Sol Ruka and Zarya were going to split up, and it looks like we're on that road right now. and Ethan Page and Elio de Dr. Wagner Jr. battle in a Day of the Dead match for the NXT North American Championship. Let me see this. A Day of the Dead match. Uh, Ethan Page defends the in a Day of the Dead. Day of what is a Day of the Dead match? Is a Day of the Dead match. A Day of the Dead match is a Lucha Libre wrestling show held annually by the Mexican promotion CMLL to celebrate the Dia de Muertos, Day of the Dead holiday. That is not what I'm. That is not answering the question. Yeah, no, that's just telling me about the Day of the Dead. Dia de Muertos. It's, I don't. Okay, so I guess another no DQ match. I don't know. I don't know what that means. A casket match? Is that what this is? Is it a casket match? I have no idea. Okay, so this is streaming exclusively on Peacock. Okay, so Peacock does still have the NXT PLEs. Now we're gonna have another tag team match. It was gonna be Javon Evans teaming up with Leon Slater, the TNA X Division champion, and to take on Triple A's Mr. Iguana and La Parker. Okay. Um, for the Day of the Dead match, Ethan Page, Zarya versus Blake. I think Zarya wins against Blake Monroe. It's not because I don't think Blake winning here would be good for her. I think it would be, but I think Zarya needs to win needs to keep winning and hold on to the title until Sol Ruka is cleared. That way, so there is and like you can keep Blake in the middle of this story. It ends in a 3-way where Blake Monroe takes advantage of Sol Ruka and Zarya, who are no longer acting as friends, no longer getting along. Blake Monroe takes advantage, wins the title, while Sol Ruka and Zarya screw themselves over, basically. And Sol and Zarya, they can't help it but still be angry at each other. I think Ethan retains the NXT North American Championship. Yep. And then I'll go with Javon Evans and Leon Slater because Mr. Iguana has definitely been building up a quite significant fan base for himself in the WWE and in America. But I feel like Javon and Leon, I feel like they need the win. Or maybe more specifically, Javon needs the win. We'll see how things go. Well, that will do it for me here. Enjoy your Friday nights, enjoy your weekend, enjoy your work week. If you're not working, enjoy your time off, and be safe and responsible on Halloween night next Friday. I will likely not be doing the show at its regular time on its regular day. Potentially, we will see what I do. But until then, till next time, take care, enjoy your weekend, watch IYH, listen to IYH. I will see all of you next time.